Welcome back to MCTV Extra Point. I'm your host, CJ Ritchie. Today I'm going to be welcomed with Nick Lucarelli and Vic. I always forget your last name. Akintola. Sorry about that. And today it's casual Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday. Whenever you see it, it's going to be a little different. But
Can't get the memo.
we didn't tell Vic. But whatever. We're going to roll with it. We're having fun. We're going to start with the NHL and the swing of the three tri-state teams with the New Jersey Devils, New York Rangers, and Philadelphia Flyers.
There's a fly on set.
There's a fly on set.
Yeah. Keep going, but there's a fly.
Excuse me. The Devils are now 4-2-2 with 10 points, being pretty hot in the East, but Corey Schneider looks great, and they cannot, when they looked in the shootout against the Dallas Stars, miserable. They couldn't get anything going. Yager looked bad, but Corey Schneider's looking very good. Do you have, like, the Camilleri pickup, the Havla pickup? This fly is really bugging us, people, but we're gonna try as hard as we can. Camilleri. Now, what do you think about the Devils? Do you think Camilleri, Havla, who's the better pickup? Who's more important to the team? Is Yager more important?
Well, Yager's the most important player on the team, started in the shootout. Well, not in the shootout, in overtime. They're terrible in the shootouts, as you said.
They're almost as bad as Philly.
They haven't won in a shootout since 2012. That's 2 years, so that's embarrassing. But, Camilleri and Havla, because they put on the same line, they're both really pretty important. But Yager is, you saw his late goal in overtime. That was amazing. So, his top line, even at his age, he's definitely the most important player for the Devils, even though Schneider is playing great.
I'm going to go with also Henrique he's very coming into his own.
I don't like him.
American?
No.
No, he's not American. So we
I don't think he's that good.
We don't like him that much. Moving on to the Flyers, you have Andy McDonald, whatever. That's his name.
It's McDonald. Andrew McDonald.
Andrew
you can
McDonald.
call him Andy.
I call him Andy.
You're tight with him.
Braden Coburn, both hurt. The defense is looking out. Kimmo Timonen, as you know, has a blood clot in his leg. He's probably going to have to retire. Pronger still on the team in the reserved IR. So that's 4 defensemen who's not playing right now.
Yeah.
You bring up Ghost-Bear, their first pick in the NHL draft. The defense is in turmoil. They're looking pretty bad. Emery's looking better than Steve Mason.
Yeah.
And now Braden Shen, Luke Shen, Braden Coburn, and Nicholas Grossman all on the trading block. Do you Vic, do you think it's too early for them to be trying to make moves? Or do you think they're actually looking towards down the road and they need to do it now?
Yeah, I mean, when you're going to change anything, you have to do it early because the longer you wait, the more ineffective that the change is actually going to be. So since the season just started not too long ago, whatever change you're going to make, I think they should make it now. So I think that's pretty good of them.
We can only hope it's not a bad change.
Yeah, that's the thing about change.
I think it's
either good or bad.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
I know what you're saying. Though.
Yeah.
You got to nip it in the bud early because otherwise
because when you're trying to change something too late, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got to be able to get your chemistry, and that's really hard
exactly.
to do.
Later on.
In a month.
Well, yeah, they're worried about because the defense, when you put, when they lost to the Rangers in 7 in the first round of playoffs last year, Rangers' offense isn't that good. So when it came down to the fact that the defense is letting in those tough goals when Steve Mason's playing so well, I think they're worried about their defense because they know they got the offensive weapons. Where's the problem going to be? It's going to be with goaltending and defense. And with Emery playing well right now, obviously Mason needs to pick it up. It's still early. I think they're worried that defense is going to be their Achilles heel again. So
which I think is they're going to overcompensate, get a good defense, and then somewhere else they're going to fall off.
Exactly.
But that happens everywhere. The Rangers, what do you think? Shaky defense or shaky goaltending?
Well, it's definitely not shaky defense. I mean, shaky goaltending is also kind of tough,
Well, that's why.
Because the offense is playing poorly in the defensive zone.
Yeah,
it's not just the defense.
They're not scoring.
People are also quick to get back not on the Rangers bandwagon because they just lost to Montreal, but they also put in 3 great wins before that game, and they played Montreal in Montreal after the tragedy in Ottawa, so the people were behind their city there, so that was going to be a tough place to play. But
Lundqvist is just unlucky.
Well, Lundqvist isn't that good of a goalie. I mean, he's just a prime example. He is the Peyton Manning of the hockey world, where he'll make great saves when it doesn't matter. When it comes down to it, is he going to make the big save to win the game?
Right.
Maybe, but he's proven time and time again that he's a 930 goaltender, 2-time Vezina winner, that kind of guy. But is he going to be clutch? Is he going to be Martin Brodeur? I don't think so. So, the Rangers, they'll get it on track, but I can't really see them going that far in the playoffs. I mean, I can see them in top 5 seed, but
as we all do, as we all know, speculation. So who knows? Let's move over to MLB. The World Series is getting really underway. We're going to Game 6 tonight. It could be yesterday, whenever you see it. Sorry. San Fran's up 3-2, and as my pick before, I lost the game. I said Game 5, San Fran would win it, but I was wrong. But my MVP pick is looking nice, but there's a problem. Madison Bumgarner is .56 ERA with 13 strikeouts. He's only given up 1 earned run on 1 pitch. It was a home run. He's only thrown 1 ball and given up only 7 hits. Then you look at Hunter Pence as my pick, 9 for 19, two stolen bases. He's got the highest average on the team for over 10 at-bats.
Mm-hmm.
1 home run, 5 RBIs, 14 total bases, and 3 walks. He's playing unreal.
He's still the MVP. He's the biggest name in the series, so I mean, they'll give it to him one name.
But Baumgartner wins 2 games.
Yeah, but pitchers, I mean, they're always discriminated against in the MVP race. I mean, you
not when you look at. I don't know. Kansas City, on the other hand, their best 2 hitters, Eric Hosmer and Lorenzo Cain, both batting weird enough, 263 with 6 total strikeouts. Kansas City's overall average is 221 in the series, and their setup man extraordinaire, someone else. Brian Finnegan's a wide receiver from all time.
Yeah, from the Falcons. I don't know where he pulled that one out.
1050 earned run average for one player, and you're not going to win like that. I think San Fran wins it tonight in Kansas City, Game 6. It's up to you guys. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think this whole series is starting to turn around when, Kansas City's, it's 1-1. Kansas City's up, I believe, 5, and then San Francisco comes up to
runs.
win 8-5 or whatever the score was. The point was it was a huge change. I mean, that is just a huge momentum shift. Now San Fran's up 3-2. I could really see it.
Game 7.
Them closing it out tonight.
You think Game 7?
I think Game 7.
Really?
Who wins?
I think the Giants take it in Game 7, but I think it's going to be classic.
That would be such a slight. Oh.
Yeah.
I know.
It'll be classic, Yeah,
it's true. Let's see if we see any fixes. Keep your eyes out for that.
Fix is always in with baseball. You guys know that.
Well, yeah, it's a dirty game with dirty players. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to get back to the NBA, which is starting off today or tomorrow? Tomorrow night, so probably today when you see it. Bye. See you in a little bit.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against the wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Welcome back to MCTV Extra Point. I'm your host, CJ Ritchie. Nick and Vic here. We're going to talk about the NBA. Kicks off to October 28th. We've got a lot of interesting storylines, man. Durant's out. Paul George is out. Sixers might just throw every game just to get another draft pick. Yeah. Who knows, but we got interesting stuff. Season starts. What games we got going on, Vic?
We have 3 games lined up starting on the opening night. It's the Pelicans versus Orlando.
Oh, God.
It's going to be an interesting game.
It's going to be a boring game.
Yeah, 8 p.m. We have the Mavericks against the Spurs, 8 p.m. as well. And then we have Houston against the Lakers, which is going to be probably the premier game. It's 10:30. It's going to be in Los Angeles.
In L.A. So Bill Murray will be with the Lakers. Jack Nicholson and Bill Murray will be sitting down there.
Hopefully together.
The Laker girls. Yeah, well, we can only hope. It's very interesting with teams in the East. Like Paul Pierce goes to Washington just because he thinks that they can win. Because he leaves the Nets thinking that, like, all right, this team can't do anything. I was in the locker room. I know about it. Jason Kidd's gone. I still think Toronto's taking that whole division by a landslide.
Yeah, Toronto did the best in the preseason. They had 1 loss,
plus
7 wins.
They did the best They did the best thing, which was to not change anything. Because the core, you keep the core. Maybe you change a little piece of there, but you don't like the Heat have the Heat have taken a dramatic thing. I don't think the Cavs can really win.
Pacers took a dramatic change. Everybody took a dramatic change.
I don't understand it's like. Everyone has to play. I know you have to go for a championship. But like with having no faith in anyone and building no chemistry, you really can't. Like you see, like the Thunder are really trying to just keep the chemistry, but then you see like the injuries just plague them for the whole time. And they can't win.
Right.
But I really don't think just buying a championship. It's only going to work with LeBron. I don't think you can really just buy someone like. Why would people really thought that they'd do Carmelo?
Yeah, but the thing is, he was never like a champion caliber player.
Exactly.
Not taking anything away from his talent, but
he's not physically dominant.
Like
he's skill.
In the league, he's he has a lot of talent, but it wasn't enough to ever make his team a threat, such as having like a LeBron on your team, in a case like that. So,
what team are you most excited to see start? What's just to see how they do in these first 5-6 games?
I want to see how OKC is going to do without Durant, just to start things and how they're going to set the pace, because he just had the surgery, I believe, not too long ago.
And he'll be out till...
And the surgery, after the surgery is when they say 6 to 8 weeks. So probably the first 2 months, maybe, he should be expected to be out. So
that's not good.
And, the NBA is a fast-paced thing. They play a lot of games just during the season, period.
If he comes back,
so 2 months, it's a lot of games under in 2 months.
And then he's gonna have to come back, and he's gonna have to be slow.
You gotta practice, rehab, all that stuff.
Derrick Rose, he's playing, right? He's playing this year.
Yeah, he's playing, and he's looking good too.
Are both his knees shot?
Yeah,
I say he goes down again. He goes down again with an ankle.
Yeah, whenever you have like an injury that's sat you down for like a season and stuff, things never are the same. Because now you can't play as hard. Even if you want to mentally play as hard, you can't physically.
You take a little less
Exactly. You take a little less risk. And then if you take a bigger risk, you get more injured because of that risk.
Yeah, you holding up does do a lot of problem for your body.
So, the Pacers took a hit. And so we're just waiting to see what happens. I'm excited to see it. Basketball gets really exciting around like
February.
April.
Yeah.
Basketball gets exciting?
Yeah.
Okay, Nick. Well, you know what? You're not an avid fan of basketball, but how about your Knickerbockers, the team that you would root for?
I root for them.
What about them?
They're not good.
Okay. You know what? We're going to stay away from that. I personally can't wait to see Philly because, if they lose every game, that's something to talk about. Losing every single game.
I think they have this big three thing going. So
yeah, Noel, Embiid, and Carter Williams.
We're just going to see what they do with it.
Embiid might be out for the whole year, so.
We'll see. So
it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the NBA. I'm very excited, but take a quick commercial break and go into Week 8 of the NFL, the most exciting sport to watch.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
MCTV Extra Point, Nick and Vic, back in action. Let's talk about the NFL.
The dynamic duo.
Talk about the NFL, the gruesome twosome over here. Let's start off with my most personal game this week, Philly versus Arizona.
Oof.
There's so much to talk about this game. I could literally talk a whole day about this game and not get tired of it because it was so miserable and gut-wrenching to watch that loss.
Yeah, it really was.
Arizona wins 24-20 in their own house, so you think, okay, it's not that bad of a loss because you're playing away. But as you said,
it's deeper than the points.
Can you trust anyone?
No, you can't trust anybody. The product of the NFL this year has really been depressing. I mean, it's hard to watch games. I mean,
or is everyone just that good? Is the talent getting better
no,
everywhere else?
I think it's just sloppy football. I mean, teams until we find a team who can consistently win on the road, we don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, it's really that I guess makes it more exciting, which should make it a better product. Yeah. We have no idea. I mean, there could be a dark horse, somebody like Pittsburgh is starting to pick it up, or a team even like Cleveland. We don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't seem like a contender at all, right? But who knows? A team like Kansas City, what do they do?
Still have no wins.
Who knows? So I mean, the Raiders have. I mean, it's really to the point where it just. I mean, Philly, I thought, was the most impressive thing of their season was going on the road, and they should have won that game. I mean, quite frankly, as just a football fan watching that game, I was kind of rooting for the Eagles and just watching it. I never had any thought that they weren't going to win that game until John Brown catches that pass, and it's like, are you kidding me? They're going to lose this game?
Yep.
So, I mean, it was really depressing, I'm sure, for you guys as Eagles fans. But, I mean, it just really comes down to the fact that unless a team is – whoever is the top seed in each conference has got to be the favorites to win the bowl because just no team can win on the road, it seems like. No team – everyone looks different when they're at home. It's not good.
For that game, Philly and Arizona, Foles giveth, Foles taketh away. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah.
Both Macklin
threw
looking.
62 times.
That's another thing. Shady still gets 83 yards. So they ran, at least looking at this, they ran at least 80. They ran 83 plays. That's insane. They ran 83 plays. Shady got 83 yards, but he didn't look amazing. Polk also had some rushes, so they ran more plays than that. They ran probably about close to 100 plays.
For 20 points.
For 20 points. Well, you have the
turnovers.
Yeah, the turnovers.
But you have
Foles' 2 picks are awful.
They weren't good.
Huff, the one he throws to Huff down the seam, he does not account for a safety or a cornerback looming.
Huff's bad.
Huff is bad. He also has a fumble.
Yeah.
On the 1
yard line.
Targeting
him over the middle was a mistake in the first place.
But it was after the catch. It wasn't the initial hit. Larry Fitzgerald and Brown.
Yeah.
Combined 12 receptions, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. Here's the problem. Chip Kelly, red zone call. You don't call a 1 yard line. He already did. He already lost to San Fran this way. He's hard-headed and goes against Arizona on the 1 yard line. You do not run a shotgun draw.
Yeah, that was a mistake right there.
Nobody runs a shot. No one. Only he would do that.
Well, how about them not going for it on 4th and inches? I'm not saying that they should have, but that's definitely something you should have thought about, right? And
it would have been a thought. It would have been a thought if the previous play was successful.
Well,
but the previous play was so bad.
Also, the spot of the ball, that was a first down. If you saw that,
I think so
it was
too.
a first down.
But that's irrelevant to the point at hand, which is if you ran a better play than an inside draw with LaShawn McCoy on 3rd and inches or 3rd and 1, whatever it was, if you just ran a dive, the 4th and inches play would have been so much easier to get, and you probably would have gotten it.
You would have had more confidence doing it.
I mean, it's astounding to me.
If you put I don't know what fullback you put. James.
You put in James Kidd,
exactly.
You
put a tight end. You put Chris Polk. You say
you
Shady.
Put in Selleck. Anybody.
You put Shady. You're not going to run this play. Sit on the sideline. You get an I formation and you bust them. And if you don't do it twice, then guess what? At least you tried to do what it was going to work.
No one's going to yell at you for saying, "Oh, Chip Kelly should have kicked that field goal." If you would have just ran the ball consistently all game like they should
before it happened. That
exactly.
was not a field goal
drive. If I'm an Eagle fan, I'm saying to myself, I'm okay if he doesn't make it. You got to try it on 4th and inches.
The refs were a little shaky on both sides.
The refs have been bad all year. I mean, well, maybe just they're being told to be this strict on these terrible illegal contact calls.
They don't reverse a lot of things this season. I've been taking.
It's a rough game. So the Eagles got another tough because they're on the road again and they've lost both games on the road in the West. Now they're taking on Houston, who can do well.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be. I
think it's an Eagle win. I think it's a somewhat easy Eagle win. I mean, 10-point Eagle win.
Enough of that game. That's gonna give me agita and a heart attack. Moving down, Detroit versus Atlanta, the London Bowl. I saw a headline that pissed me off. Atlanta caught in a London fog.
Get it?
For Christ's sake. It's awful. Matt Ryan looks good until the second half. Steven Jackson looks good until the second half. Mike Smith looks good until the second half.
Mike Smith's a bad coach.
The Detroit Lions have won 3 straight games on the other team.
Yeah, but the Lions are a joke too. I mean,
they're 6-2. They're making the playoffs.
I know, but you gotta.
They've been a quiet 6-2.
You gotta give Stafford some kudos for winning.
Golden Tail gives
yet another game without Megatron and Reggie Bush. Yes. You gotta give him a little. Golden Tate's been playing well for him. I mean, that catch that Tate made on the last drive.
Should have been the other one should have been a touchdown too. He should have had 2 touchdowns.
Well, yeah, but even the one to Theo Riddick. I mean, Theo Riddick. Who would have thought? Joyce Bell and Reggie Bush. Well, Joyce Bell going out towards the end of the game. Theo Riddick comes in and plays astounding. You got to give Jim Caldwell a little bit of credit, even though I don't think he's a good coach either. It was a battle of 2 bad coaches, in my personal opinion.
And one was just slightly worse than the other.
Yeah. But I think, in my opinion, what's most important to talk about is the play of the Falcons in the debacle that was that second half. That Matt Ryan interception. Have you ever seen a worse interception? Across his body.
Nick Foles.
I don't think I've ever seen a worse interception.
Did you see the one he gassed up yesterday? And Cromartie he throws behind Cooper.
Your humble host did not watch the Atlanta game. He was too busy sleeping.
I was working.
I'll tell you this.
5:30 to 3.
It was you'll see on the screen right now when you're watching because it'll be viral. The worst interception I've ever seen across his body. You've got a 21-point lead. They're driving down the field, and he throws an interception across his body that is returned to the 1-yard line. I mean, that just changed the game entirely.
Yeah.
And then when it comes down to the last possession of the game for the Falcons, they have a chance to close it out. They call a pass play and they take a timeout because the player was injured. It's just bad coaching, and it's just another prime example.
You get a lineman to pick Steven Jackson up and get off the field.
Exactly.
Get him off the field.
And Steven Jackson, a savvy vet, someone I've been a big fan of. I don't care if your leg's broken. Just hop off the field. You can get assistance on the sideline. No one's asking you to play the next down.
Right.
You got to get off the field. You can't cost your team a timeout and giving them a minute and 50 seconds. That's an eternity.
That's what these guys who make millions are told. Your body is worth $100 million. You don't take any chances. You lay down.
A win for the Falcons is worth $1 million. Their season's over now. They got no shot.
Not really.
No shot.
The Saints are 3-4.
Well, you're right. I stand corrected because that division is abysmal.
All under 500. All under 500.
You're right, but let's be honest, the Falcons aren't going to be doing anything. But yeah,
they need 2 wins and New Orleans to lose twice, and then they're back in it.
Who from that division is going to make a run now?
Carolina.
Make a run?
Carolina.
I think you're high.
The tough part of the season's over for them.
I think your host is high.
The tough part of the season.
No, I'm talking in the playoffs. Once they get in the playoffs.
No, I'm talking about to get to the playoffs.
No.
I'm picking Carolina.
Who's going to make a run once I think whoever wins that division is out first round.
Okay.
So I think it's irrelevant.
Well, they could play Philly, so who knows? Moving on. I don't even want to talk. That game was disgusting, and I was at work, not sleeping. Baltimore versus Cincy, battle of the top teams in the NFC North.
Not really, though. Top team is playing Indianapolis. We'll talk about
that in a little bit. God forbid I said the other teams with better records are better teams. Baltimore loses to Cincy. Cincy does have that tie that just really pisses fans off.
Oh, yeah.
More than anything, it's like kissing your sister. But hey, it's a really hot sister. Who cares? Don't forgive me. Dalton, 2 rushing touchdowns, no touchdowns in the air, and a pick.
Oh, it's another game. It's another game for Dalton where you thought he was going to lose, and it was just like, wow, can this guy be any more mediocre? When he throws that pick towards the end, it's like I've never seen a quarterback more mediocre. It's just like he just is just up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
But defense stepped up, and we all know that call was iffy at the end. The Steve Smith touchdown.
Oh yeah, well
that was iffy.
I call up offense back. He grabbed, he threw him.
Yeah, but
I say he threw him.
In a little bit of Steve Smith's defense, I mean, they never called defensive pass interference in situations like that towards the end of the game. They try and let it play loose.
Right.
So why call the offensive?
How do you call an offensive on that situation?
Just because it was a touchdown.
Yeah, it had to count. It had to matter for something.
To me, I mean.
I let it go. I mean, I would
have
called
let it go.
But I let it go because I see it is a penalty.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was a penalty.
But you let it go, then it's controversial.
He was going back. They were both going back, and Smith stopped going back.
Well, the thing is, he put his hand on him.
Yeah.
Which, if I believe the corner was Terrence Newman, if Terrence Newman doesn't fall backwards, there's no way that's a call. But he just happened to fall backwards while he was touching.
Because he was moving backwards.
I mean, to me, that's just playing receiver.
Well, you saw Nick Foles he can get hit. He got pushed and he fell down roughing the passer.
Well, Foles is. Well, no, I'm joking. No, with quarterback play, I mean, it's just you touch him in the head. Obviously, you see, even if it's not a hard hit.
No, you just tap me.
Yeah, so quarterback's different. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think Steve Smith was just playing receiver. I think he kind of got. It would have been exciting if they would have won. But
off
there have been so
80-yard
many things
touchdown
that happen off of game-winning plays and game-ending plays that they have to start looking at things more.
Well, just look at the greatest plays in the history of the game. Imagine if they were so tight with calls as they were back then. Back reception, the catch. Lillian Swan catching the Super Bowl.
That's part of why Peyton Manning was able to break a touchdown record and things like that because of this generation of play.
People always say guys like Darryl LaMonica in the 50s and Namath, if they played today and they had the rules today, how many yards would they throw for Johnny Unitas? So, I mean, it's a little bit different in the era that they're playing in. But back to our original point, which is that's a tough loss for the Ravens. But, Ravens don't look bad. Ravens don't look bad. They play.
And they now here's interesting. Healthy scratch was Bernard Pierce.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done. I think they don't want him to get hurt.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, I don't.
He's a goal line presence compared to Talaferro and Forsett. He's better in the goal line. And if they can not get him hurt, and then when they need him, they put him in, they're going to be great in the red zone.
That's an interesting theory. I mean, it's gamesmanship if they're doing that. But I think Forsett and, how do you say his name?
Lorenzo
Talaferro. I think they both look good. So, I mean, they have a nice little three-headed monster if Pierce is really healthy, as you say. I mean, who knows?
He is healthy. He was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Moving on. Green Bay didn't look like Green Bay.
Well, it's because they're on the road, which was my original point.
Saints look like Saints.
Yeah, but because they were home. That's what I'm talking about.
They already lost home, though. They lost home this year to Dallas.
No, no, that wasn't Dallas, I believe. But if you put, I think it was. Well, we'll check it out on that later.
Let's talk about the continuity at home.
Yeah. If you put that game in Green Bay on Sunday night, I think it's the same exact score in reverse. I think Green Bay wins handedly, and I think that most people would agree because Drew Brees on the road is now the same quarterback. Now, I used to think that rule didn't apply to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but
in this year, in Detroit, in New Orleans, he looked, well, first of all, it really wasn't his fault, but the team did not look like the Packers.
It was the team, and just like speaking of the team, you said Drew Brees is not the same Drew Brees on the road. I could kind of agree with that, but the team also rallied around him this time.
Yeah.
He had a team behind him this time. So, they had the rushing game going, and it was just everything was working out for them.
Rodgers hasn't thrown more picks than a touchdown in a while.
Well, they weren't
a long time.
They weren't real picks, though, if you watch them. I mean, again, we'll show them on the screen.
Yeah, there was a lobbed one.
It's 16-16. The Packers are driving down the field, about to take the lead. Throws the ball perfectly to Andrew Corliss at Penn State University, who looked absolutely horrible last night. Right in his hands. It's about to be 23-16 Packers, but no. He drops it. Not only does he drop it, he tips it right to a Saints defender. And that was the complete changing of the game right there, because that's when Rodgers got hurt with his hamstring, and that's when they went down and scored. So if you make that a touchdown, he doesn't drop that ball, it's a completely different game, I think. So little nuances in games change stuff. But
another game that was disappointing, like both teams.
Yeah.
Indy and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Big Ben threw for 6 touchdowns. Just like it was, it was just like New Orleans. Like they just came out, blew them out of the water, and the other team was supposed to be the better team, Green Bay and Indy.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody, if you really look at the teams, besides maybe luck, if you look at the teams, I think the Steelers are a better team than the Colts. If you talk about potential.
But Luck is a better. He brings so much more.
I think people underestimated Ben Roethlisberger, and Luck didn't play poorly. Yeah, I mean, that pick 6 was rough for Luck. If you take away that pick 6 again, that game was within 8 points for a while. People forget about that when they came back.
Close.
But then he started to.
Oh, I didn't forget. I was playing Luck and T.Y. Hilton this week, and I had Jordy Nelson. I didn't forget nothing about that.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I mean, it was a closer game, I think, towards the middle and towards the tail end of it that people thought it was going to be. But, I mean, the Steelers got a shot here, man. They play Ravens next week in Pittsburgh. I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to sweep Pittsburgh. That'd be
I always see that the NFC North games I always want to watch.
Yeah.
Always tight, always awesome.
Oh,
Cleveland's
big
a spoiler.
rivalries. Yeah.
But that's all for Week 8.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna the Monday night game too early for us to talk about it, too late to air, so you guys can watch that for yourselves. Hopefully the Dallas can choke on it. We'll see what happens. We're going to be back with NASCAR Overdrive with Mike Nebbia. Stay tuned. Thanks for the NFL, man.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Welcome back to MCTV Extra Point. We're going with our NASCAR segment, NASCAR Overdrive with Mike Nebbia. How you doing, buddy?
Great to be back.
Now, last week we started the Eliminator 8. How did that race go? Did they have a break?
Wow. We were at Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia, 10th anniversary of the Hendrick plane crash that killed 10 members of the Hendrick Motorsports family. And Dale Jr. scored an emotional win for Hendrick Motorsports, even though he's out of the chase for the championship.
He still pulled a win out?
He still pulled a win out of his hat.
How my boy Jeff Gordon? Where'd he go? Where'd he place?
Second.
Oh.
He is now leading the points heading for Texas.
I'm rooting for my California boy, man. That's me. That's all me.
He's leading the points heading for race number 8 of the chase in Texas.
He's going to be really bad in this one. You know he is. By your guess, he's going to do bad. By the trend, he's probably going to get like a 15.
Jeff Gordon?
That would be Jeff Gordon. He's only got the one win at Texas back in April of 2008.
Wow.
So here we go.
And that was back in the spring race. He has never won the fall race at Texas.
Oh no. Well, who's going to win and who's going to lose? Give me that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go outside of the chase for this one. I'm going to go with a guy who's always been dominant at Texas. He's got 3 wins there, and he'll get number 4. I'm going with, from Columbus, Indiana, Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart? He killed someone. Accidentally.
It was an accident. He will rebound. He will continue his streak of winning races.
And who's going to lose? Who's going to be out of the guys that are still in it, the 8, who's going to finish last out of them?
Okay. Guys that will be out of the 8. I will go with Harvick, Keselowski, Logano, Newman. It's changed since last week.
I can see that. Well, where's the next? The race is now at where? The next race?
Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to be 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon over on ESPN.
So if you're not watching football, watch what Mike watched, the NASCAR. Get ready, man. Thanks for coming on.
Great to be back.
Great to have you,
I'll be back next week.
Next week, we're all going to be back, so get ready, everyone. Wave it, man. Wave it.